Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for a leg day vlog and very much what I've been talking about lately of returning to some of my powerlifting roots for mainly the squatting purposes, right? My benching and upper body, we're just going to run it all straight bodybuilding. But I'm at a point with a lot of this to where a lot of the things that I used to do as a powerlifting coach, as a conjugate coach, all these things, even like that I used to get my own squat up to 600 pounds, at one time, I want to incorporate some of that again. And so I really wanted to mess with the box squat. So what I'm doing with some of this, I want to be clear, it's not true conjugate. So people are like, you're trying to conjugate. No, I'm going to be doing bodybuilding. Like this is mostly bodybuilding training. But I know bodybuilders. I know a natural bodybuilding coach who does box squats and speed boxes and all that, even for his people with natural pro cards, like his men and his women. So again, let's come over and talk about what we're doing here, because we're still going to maximize hypertrophy in the lower body, but I want to get that power back. I want to get, again, just that stability and power and strength I used to have on the squatting. And it's not going to be a problem for bodybuilding purposes, believe me, because we're going to come in and do machine work and leg extensions and everything for quads. So I went ahead and I ramped up to a fairly heavy box squat. We're getting below parallel on this. I haven't done these in a while. I called it at 395, and I know that's not super heavy, but it's close enough to a max for me right now. But I feel like, again, it's one of these that I'll get used to this wide stance again. It's going to come up quick. I need to do a little skill work with it today. But a lot of what I'm doing, is 90% of my training is just straight up hypertrophy, straight bodybuilding. We have a separate arm day. My God. And of course, I train triceps on chest and bench day. I do biceps on back day. We have a shoulder day. We're doing all these things. Tomorrow will be a normal arm day. So my biceps are getting trained directly twice a week. It is very much bodybuilding. But let's talk about the whole power building thing. And a lot of it's things I learned from Louis Simmons. And you look at even guys like O'Hearn incorporate a lot of this in his power building as a guy in his 50s who is strong and looks absolutely phenomenal. Like that's almost a benchmark. So I ramped up to the heavy single, but I'm like, and then I want to do some speed work. So instead of running multiple days built around the squat, it's like, let's just do all of it. And I ended up doing 50 minutes of cardio after conditioning in the weight vest. So this ended up being my Friday is a true all four areas that conjugate talks about. I threw them into one day. We did max effort work. We did speed work. We do repetition effort work. Right? Repetition effort. And then we did GPP, and we did all of it fasted, by the way. I just now had my breakfast. It's afternoon. I didn't eat breakfast till like 12:15. But we did all that, and I did 50 minutes in the 50-pound weight vest after all of this. All right? We take it up to the next level. Taking things up to this next level. Again, the legs are coming back, but I need the quads thicker too. Obviously, arms are the biggest priority. Getting lean's a priority. So speed work, right? So I didn't go crazy heavy. Speed work shouldn't be. What did we do here? 235 on the box, right? Still above 50%. And then we ran 50 pounds of chains, okay? 50 pounds of chains in there. Just did a quick 3x3 after doing the heavy single. Then we jump into all the rep work. Now I count this as 4 work sets because we did ramped up to a heavy single. Then we did 3 speed things, and then I did 6 really hard sets for quads. So we did a combination of a compound and an isolation. Okay, and then we did calf work, and then we did ab work. All right, this is lower volume than I've been running lately, but I'm looking at quality volume and then building it. So I want to build back up off this. So I ran a lot of just really high volumes, running all the leg extensions. Now I'm going to push progressive overload on all that stuff. The volume's going to be a little more moderate. Some of my other volumes are more moderate now. We're really shooting for most things about 15 sets. And even the arm work, only doing about 12 sets per session, but the arms are getting hit twice. So it ends up being over 20 sets. But I want to push progression and quality work on that, right? We want to push all that. That needs to be important. So again, right here, this is a good start. Like I'm not used to the box squatting again. I'm not used to the speed work again. It's going to it could hit me kind of hard tomorrow. So then we came in, we did 3 sets of the belt squats, same weight I used last time, did 8. I didn't have a rep left after this. These felt like at most, that one maybe a rep left, but definitely towards the end, they felt grindy, like at most 1 rep left in the tank. And then I took the leg extensions all to failure. So just an FYI. All right. So this is the same weight I've been working with, but I want to progress on this. So with some of this, I want to get some progression and I want to get as deep as possible. Now, I felt like I got deeper today on these than I did last time because I felt like looking at the footage, I'm like I could have got a hair deeper. This is my deepest stretch position movement. I need it to be deep. I need to get those quads activated because my leg extension setup is more mid-ranging contraction, right? Really is. So this needs to be my deep stretch position, lengthened position movement. But 3 hard sets, and I've been pushing progression on these, right? We want to get stronger for reps. That's the goal. We want to get stronger for repetitions, right? But then, so this ended up being 8s, and then we end up doing 15s, roughly 15s on the leg extension. So if you look at the whole gambit, what do we have here? Max effort with a single, dynamic effort speed for triples. Then we have a big compound for 8s, and then we have an isolation for 15s. We have run the full gambit here of normal effective rep ranges, unless you start talking about going 20 plus. But we ran the full gambit here. Like this is a lot of quad work. So, 10 work sets running technically kind of 4 different rep ranges, all our training modalities. Okay, so took these to failure. Then I did calf raises about 30. Most of them probably didn't reach 30. So these are my calves are just like, man, what are you doing to us? So again, keeping the reps really high on calves. Then of course I do a quad pose for you guys so that you guys can see where the legs and everything are at the end of each of those. Plus notice on the body fat, I'm sitting down, and that's a total side view. That is an unflattering angle that the abs are starting to really show there. So we're in a good spot, right? We're in a really good spot. So this is again just 235. I don't know if I actually really hit 30 reps. I start losing count. I know I got over 20 on all of them, but they were burning really bad. And at this point in the game, I just need to make sure my calves are getting trained hard. I'm not going to push them with the same volumes. It's just an isolation. Keeping in mind, squats and deadlifts and all that other stuff seem to stimulate my quads. I get actual quad pump and quad growth from all of that. But again, let's come in and isolate them, make sure that they get worked. Because again, those big compounds may not be the most optimal. There's some data on squatting and calves. It's actually really promising for the calf exercise. But again, we want that one isolation to hit that. So again, those are where my legs and everything are. It's all coming along. Everyone talks about, again, low carb and glycogen. And really, am I having this issue? I don't do carb ups. I'm not even doing a TKD or anything like that. It's just low carb, like 50 grams or less every day. Keep in mind, look at my training volumes. This is almost my lowest volume day, but it's the biggest muscles. But then we do all that fasted cardio after. Okay, and this is fasted. I'm still looking decently full. I've told people the whole glycogen thing on lower carbs appears to be based on the research, largely a myth. You're dropping water due to shifts in aldosterone, right? Low carb makes you excrete more sodium and things. And potential potassium. So I've actually been adding potassium back in. I add a lot of potassium salts to my food, to my cooking, to my waters, everything. Okay, so in multiple forms. So it's not like I'm just taking a supplement. I have literal potassium salts that I cook with. But yeah, definitely staying full. But again, I feel like at this point, slowly leaning out, slowly getting bigger. We're recompositioning doing all this. So again, not really getting beat up, not having overtraining issues, which again kind of goes to show with good quality nutrition, good sleep, right? Work capacity built up, you'd be surprised because again, the training volumes have been pretty high and we're lifting 6 days a week. And granted, you can't use this day as an example of volume because it's really probably the lowest volume I do. You start looking at things like shoulder day yesterday, 20 plus work sets, right? Like whatever, 16 of them, 17 of them for quad, or for delts. Then we did heavy shrugs, strapped up shrugs, then we did neck work, right? Of course, I finish every day with a set of hanging leg raises, and I may increase that beyond 1 set eventually. So I'm trying to do abs every single day. But again, the legs are looking pretty thick, and surprisingly, the upper body, normally on lower body days, my upper body is depleted. But I feel like after that shoulder day yesterday, the shoulders may actually be coming up, because a lot of these movements, when you see me moving back towards the camera, the shoulders are looking rounder. So again, everything's kind of filling in. All the bodybuilding work for the upper body is really, after months and months and months, is really starting to pay off. We have a long way to go, by the way. I'm, again, chasing that golden era classic physique type look. We got a long way to go, but I feel like the progress is there. But happy with today's work. Again, still got all my hypertrophy work in afterwards, and a good moderately high amount of volume. Then tons of cardio afterwards. You guys go watch Facebook. I did the whole thing live, and Avi came in for a little bit. Had a good chat, so I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.